Good late morning. It is Friday, September 21st, 2018. This is your Island Blader speaking. Here's what's happening. What's there to say this morning? It's not so much that the Cleveland Browns won this game yesterday. They broke their little curse. They all celebrated with beer in that city last night. They deserved it. Well deserved. But obviously, you see this, obviously, I come speaking as a Jet fan perspective, as, I do every time I come on here. Like I said, it's not so much that Cleveland won. Cleveland, like I said, they were overdue. And they should be 3-0 right now, if not for inept kicking. There's no doubting that. But what happened, over the last 2 weeks. And you just had a feeling. You know what? I think a lot of Jets Nation, and I hope, maybe I'm speaking for all of Jets Nation, is that something like this would happen, with the New York Jets as the benefit. The Pittsburgh Steelers getting into the playoffs a few years ago. Why? The Jets lost the game that would have gotten them in the playoffs. How many times have the Jets done this? And here we are, the Cleveland Browns, 600 whatever days it was without winning a football game. Who do they beat to end that streak? The New York Jets. This is a game that the New York Jets let slip. This is a game where the New York Jets played undisciplined. For the whole country to see. From stupid penalties, Isaiah Crowell, I understand you're back in Cleveland, you hated it there, and everything else in between. But pretending to go to the bathroom and then chucking the football into the stands, really. Tremaine Johnson. Once again, and this plagued the Jets last week too in the Dolphin game, or should I say a few days ago. The same nonsense about, all of a sudden, let's stick an incomplete pass in the stomach of Jarvis Landry. 15-yard penalty on third down, which gave Cleveland a reprieve. Luckily, the Jets get off the field unscathed. Another defensive holding penalty in the second half. Mo Claiborne. There's that. Robbie Anderson. There's a good reason I dropped his rear end from my fantasy team. My mother's fantasy team, rather. There's a good reason why. Once again, puts the ball on the ground. And this time, and once again, it led to points on the other team, this time a field goal. So, the Jet defense was doing so well. Oh, but then bring in one Baker Mayfield, the #1 overall pick in this year's draft. My question to you is, since when was one game, first game ever in his NFL start? Yeah, 2 weeks ago it was about Sam Darnold. Oh my God, look at the Jets, blah, blah, blah. What's happened since? Baker Mayfield, the way the defense played in that second half, especially in the fourth quarter, which, I sat there and I said, they're going to mess this up because the Jets defense is just not a fourth quarter defense. Show up in the first half all they want. But all of a sudden they stop playing football in the fourth quarter when it matters. Baker Mayfield did what he wanted in the second half. He was chilling back there. The secondary was getting carved apart. Sending blitz packages, no problem. The kid is a laser. My God, he has a laser. He has a laser arm. My goodness. I gotta give him, like, dang, he's got an arm. My freaking goodness. But, they knocked Tyrod Taylor out of the game. Baker Mayfield was going to come in the game regardless. Whether Taylor got a concussion or not, Baker Mayfield was coming into the game. I just didn't expect this. Where the Jets pride themselves on defense, especially with this inept, stupid coach of ours, And yet, you know what? It's because of the same thing. This has gone on since Rex. When the game matters with the lead, right? The Jets go fourth quarter, minutes to go in the game, and they give up the game-winning score. And they panic because we all know the offense ain't going to get the ball downfield. I said it, and I've been saying it. This is a vastly improved Cleveland Browns team. Yes, it's true. All the analysts picked the Browns to win. Oh, and by the way, speaking of the NFL Network crew, okay, all I ever heard, all it was yesterday was a Cleveland Browns love fest. All you heard, especially when Baker Mayfield came in the game, all you hear was on, oh my God, Baker, he's this and that, the Browns, they're going to pop the beer all over this city, and everything else, the curse is going to be gone. Ah, da, 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 da. Like I said, so for all the Cleveland Browns' ineptitude, just remember they beat a team that has gone through years and years of ineptitude themselves. Okay? So if you want to add for every other painful moment that this stupid franchise has had over the years, you can add last night as one of them. Clearly. I don't want to hear about a 5-game winning streak over them. They're not in our division. We don't see them often. Although we've seen them. This is our 4th year in a row seeing the Browns. 3rd straight year going there. And actually, we'll play them again next year. If I'm not mistaken, no, actually, Cleveland will come to MetLife next year. But whatever. You know, I understand they're not a laughingstock. But gosh darn, I mean, the Jets were just so undisciplined last night. It was terrible. It was terrible to watch. The penalties, and then not only that, these costly penalties, like the 2-point conversion. You know, the Jets are up 14-6. Mayfield's driving them down the thing in the 3rd quarter. They get the touchdown. You know, Mayfield has that big pass to Jarvis Landry right over Doug with Doug Middleton all over him. Somehow Landry hauls it in because Landry, even in a Miami Dolphin uniform, used to haunt us. Excuse me. Hauled it in. A few plays later, you know, because red zone defense isn't perfect. Carlos Hyde punches it in the end zone, 14-12. The Browns are going to go for 2, okay? First time, they don't get it, you know, they don't get it in, but whoa, flag. Offsetting penalties. There's a holding on Cleveland or whatever it was, and then defensive holding on Mo Claiborne. You know, let's restart it. And then let's have the Cleveland Browns do the next version of the Philly special, which looked all too easy. Reversed it, taken it, reversed it to Duke Johnson, or who's Landry? No, it was Landry, who found Baker Mayfield sitting there wide open. So, tie game, and you right then I said, we're dead. Now, it was good of the Jets to have that drive there, where Powell had the big run, and then, you know, and getting down the field, it's like, all right, come on, let's go. Only to get 3 points. You know, 17-14, I said, they're going to, you sit there, 4th quarter lead, I said, they only got a field goal out, they're going to mess this up. Watch, it's a matter of time, it's coming. And as for the quarterback, you know, the offensive line cannot protect at all. They suck. The run game did pretty well, you know, for a good while there. That first half, they looked unstoppable. Crowell, Powell, they looked great. The wide receivers for the 2nd straight game couldn't get open for nothing. The only one was a Nunwa, the same plug and go route. He'd catch the ball maybe 1 or 2 yards off the line of scrimmage and then take off for a good maybe, you know, 10, 15 yards. And Nunwa is arguably the best receiver we have. Where's Robbie Anderson? Oh, that's right. He's continues to fumble the ball. Jermaine Kearse he only caught like, what, 2 passes yesterday? He caught a big pass in the 4th quarter yesterday when, you know, after Cleveland scored the touchdown to take the lead, you know, Jermaine Kearse on a 4th and 10, you know, got the ball, you know, caught the ball there. Next play, Darnold gets intercepted with what kind, I don't know where the heck he was throwing the ball to. Apparently it was to Kearse. You know, the linebacker dove and caught it. So it was, I mean, my goodness, they just, you know, opportunities came their way and they just didn't take advantage. You know, before halftime before the half, there was the one where they kicked it out of bounds. You know, And the Jets were set up on the 40 with a timeout left. Couldn't do nothing after that. It's pathetic. You know? It's pathetic. You know, spare them the Miami game. The Jets should be at least 2-1. Spare them the Dolphin game, okay? But come on, man. I mean, most pundits picked the Browns to win. And they beat the spread, by the way. It was a 3-point spread, and they won by 4. So, you know, they all picked the Browns to win. All of them. For a while, the way the defense was playing, they said, man, lights out. They're going to get this. But they penalized themselves into mistakes. And for once, the stupid coach decides it's all on me. Well, yeah, it is all on you. Okay, you're trying to go away from all the undiscipline of the last couple of years under your watch, Todd. You know, to clean up the off the field nonsense, to clean off everything else. That's fine. On the field, it's the same stupidity. Penalty, flag this, flag that, untimely penalties. Unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting. Okay? That happened twice yesterday. You know, it's gotten to be really, really ridiculous. You know, and these penalties have been proven costly. You know, luckily, Tremaine Johnson dodged a bullet. But in the process, that was field position they let get slip away by letting Cleveland's offense stay on the field. You just gassed your defense. And in the second half, the defense looked gassed. Because either the offense can't stay on the field or the defense just gets gassed, period. And again, the game on the line and they can't finish. It happened numerously last year. How many times? You know, last night was just another one of those only the Jets moments. That's what last night was. For all the December meltdowns, for all the playoff chokes, beyond games like the fake spike, and then you let a team that hasn't won a game since 2016 beat you. Okay? I prop Cleveland. I do. All the credit in the world. They came out, they did what they had to do, they played a much improved second half, and they deserve to win the game. They did. You know, hats off to them. You know, they broke their streak, their city was waiting for this, and here it is for them. You know, like I said, I look at it as a Jet fan and say, I root for a bunch of idiots. No. Show up for one half. Guess what? Football is 60 minutes, not 30. And it's not 45 either. Sick and tired of this. It's really disgusting. Even my 15-month-old son, he was all into it yesterday. And oh no, man. It's just, you know, I'm trying to mold my son into being a Jet fan. But if he wants to follow his mother's footsteps and be an Eagles fan, go right ahead. I told him if I must suffer, I should be, like, he's next in lineage in my family that roots for, you know, because I got an entire family worth of Jet fans. I figured, let's get the next in lineage. If he doesn't want to, I don't blame him. I don't. But this morning, almost afternoon, I feel sick. I'm pissed off, and I think every other Jet fan should be. Cleveland, yeah, they should be 3-0. They're kickers away from being 3-0. Yes, you're right, absolutely. They're a much improved team, and that was what I was afraid of. This is what I was saying before the season started. That being said, okay. That being said, kiddo's being a pain in the butt, so I better sign off for now. This is your Island Blader speaking. We'll talk soon. Oh, and by the way, because I'm the person and the loyal fan that I am, I'll be back. I'll be back on here ranting and raving about how Jacksonville is going to trounce them next week Sunday. Okay? And they will too. Jacksonville's going to destroy this team. Watch. Deuces for now.